Hi y'all, welcome to Alabama. I'm your tour guide, Bret. Just kidding, since I'm fascinated by history and I wanted to show you guys my 5 favorite things to see historically in Montgomery, Alabama. I'm telling you, I have had the best barbecue. My favorite is Fat Boys in Prattville, but also Dreamland downtown. And also like some of the best fried chicken and pie you can find anywhere. Martin's is the place to go to me. I'm going to show you exactly what path to take so that you can really follow along in the history of Alabama if ever you're in Montgomery. So number 5, I would start at Fort Toulouse. Fort Toulouse, which is also known as Fort Jackson, was one of the first developed areas here when the Europeans came through. It was a Native American site, and the Native Americans made a deal for them to build a fort. So the French had a fort there, Fort Toulouse, and they did a lot of beaver trading there. And it's right at this beautiful crest of the river. And if you can go there now, it's like 20 minutes away from Montgomery. It's just a beautiful natural habitat. You can walk around and see some amazing trees and great bird watching. And there's also an Indian mound there, and they do recreations. If you go to the website, they'll do reenactments of battles that were fought there. But it really explains, and you can feel the history from the Native Americans versus the European settlers, which then eventually, of course, they signed the treaty there that gave the land away from the Creek Indians and started the Trail of Tears. Number 4, Old Alabama Town. What a perfect transition to go from Fort Toulouse to Old Alabama Town, because Old Alabama Town is right downtown, and they've taken houses and homes from all over Alabama, and you can see it's basically divided into 2 blocks. There's a working block where you can see what it was like to work in a cotton gin, what it was like to farm, and see some original homes that were parts of plantations, etc. Then there's the living block where you can see generations over hundreds of years of different homes there, and it really, it was $12, and you can feel the history. They also have some guided tours and stuff like that. Highly recommend going to Old Alabama Town. Number 3, the Waterfront. This is a super easy. You can park for free. Go down to the waterfront. There's some ruins there from the old cotton gins that would move the cotton onto the riverboats. And there's a riverboat, which we did. They did something called the Blues Cruise. And the Blues Cruise, they had 3 levels of bands playing different kinds of music. Plus, I could sit on the front of the boat and watch the river go by, and you can really feel the history. Also get a sense of the nature. It's so peaceful in the water, and see Montgomery from the river. Also, just side note, the Harriet 2 has food. They have Dreamland barbecue, pulled pork, sandwiches, burgers, hot dogs, all that stuff. So if you wanted to make like a little evening out of it, it was totally worth it. So just up Dexter Avenue is the Capitol Building, and right next to the Capitol Building, of course, is the first Confederate White House, which if you're interested in Confederate history, go there. But more importantly, next to that is the Archives. They have free parking and it's free admission, and they have one of the most amazing exhibits there called Voices of Alabama, where they go through 300 years of the history of Alabama in one exhibit. They have, it's sort of immersive. There's lighting, and the video stuff is just really, the stories are told in such a beautiful way. And you get this overall sense of the history. And if you've gone to Fort Toulouse, and if you've gone to the waterfront, and if you've done Old Alabama Town, you'll have a really interesting perspective to see that exhibit. And it's free, right downtown. And the number 1 thing to see, I think, historically, in Montgomery is the Rosa Parks Museum. Now, when I went, their projectors were a little burned out, so they need to do some work on revamping that. But there's 2 exhibits. There's one that's like a children's exhibit, but what's interesting about that, everyone should do it, because it really spans all the way from pre-Civil War up until the Rosa Parks time in 1955, I think. So that you can see really what brought the bus boycott into place, and then you can go to the adult exhibit and see what led up to and why and how powerful that movement was that was being helmed by Martin Luther King Jr. What a peaceful protest it was, and what a difference it made for so many African Americans in this country. So you really get, like, if you do all 5 of those things, you've gotten an entire experience of the people in Alabama. And then you're downtown. There's awesome food, there's other things to see, and I highly, highly, highly recommend that you explore all the sites to see in Montgomery, and then maybe go to Alabama Shakespeare Festival and see a show. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends. If you're on your way to Montgomery, what are the things you want to see or like to see or have done? And I'll see you soon.